Hello, this video is going to be about how to do a free background check in Maryland. To get started, visit marylandpublicrecords.org. I'll have a link in the description. You can click on that or just type it into your browser. On the homepage, you'll notice quite a few public record databases, which I'm going to show you how to use in a minute. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to show you how to find criminal records. Also for free. So that'll be the focus of the video, and I'm not going to focus on any particular type of a background check. This is just for everyday use, everyday people in everyday situations. So and all the official databases, free specifically databases they have available to them in the state of Maryland. So let's get started. For example, if you wanted to do, let's say, a big project, maybe you're looking at hiring a contractor. So what can you do? Now, this doesn't have to be just about a contractor. This could be about anybody that you're doing business with, or you're hiring or partnering up with something, or maybe they're looking after something for you. There are many situations that you can use this in, and a lot of these databases can be helpful when it comes to that. I'm just going to focus on a contractor for this example. So there is a special database here where you can research. You can make sure that you can search by name or business name, and you can research whether the licensing is current, whether there's actually a license, to make sure nobody's posing as a contractor. You can see how long they had it for. You can see, are they actively renewing it? Are they late? Little things like that. Same thing with the business registry. You can check when the business name was registered. Is there an actual business name? How often, like, do they renew things on time? Like, there's quite a few little things you could look at that might be of some interest or some concern. Another big thing you could do is you could use court records, and you can research a business, or you can research the individual that owns the business, and maybe you want to look for things like financial lawsuits that are related to the work, maybe a vendor that isn't happy and they ended up taking them to court, or maybe a customer that had some issues and maybe took them to court. So you want to see if the civil and the small claims records are clean as well, and this might help you maybe be more comfortable with handing over a lot of money to an individual. And at the same time, it might, if you do find the hits or some things of concern, maybe you might want to reconsider working with that individual. So these are just everyday things that you could use for free to do a quick background check. So now let's get to the criminal part. And criminal records are pretty much a backbone of just about any background check. So it's an important one, and I'm going to get into it. If you hover over other records, click on inmate search. And what you'll notice is you have your county pretty much sheriff's departments that sometimes will display arrest information, things like mugshots. Now, not too common in Maryland. It's state of Maryland is kind of restrictive when it comes to that. Sometimes you actually will have to file like a public information request. But this is where the records begin. It typically begins when a police department or sheriff's department arrests an individual, and then they charge them with a crime. So they'll get taken to jail, and then they'll either post bail, be released, or sometimes they'll be kept in jail until they see a judge. And so everybody will have to go through the court system, and that's where you can catch a lot of this criminal related information. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the court records page. And what you have in the internet is running a little bit slow, but here we go. Okay, so you have your multiple court systems in the state of Maryland, the appellate court all the way to orphans court. And since we're looking for criminal related information, we're going to be looking at the circuit court. And as you can see, they cover criminal related things, civil information, family. Some of these things might be useful. I am kind of focusing on the criminal aspect, but we are generally talking about background checks, and civil records could be lawsuits. Family could be like maybe you're dating somebody, you want to find out if they have a divorce, like things like that. You could use the court system to find quite a few things. like evictions, for instance, small claims court. So you have two different court systems. You got the circuit, and then you got the district court. And so they both kind of take care of somewhat different things, but at the same time, a couple of things are going to be very similar about the courts. So let's look at this database here. Okay, here we go. You can search again by company or by person, and you can select from the trial appellate court right here on top, and we just need a name, and we can search by attorney, defendant, whatever. I'm just going to leave it at the default, and then you can search civil, criminal, traffic, civil citation. This could be like a parking ticket or something like that. And then criminal, that's what we want. Or you could do all, but that's going to be too many records with a general name like that. You can also do a specific county. I'm just going to keep it on all. And let's hit search. Okay, so here we go. You have, as you can see, some of these files go back all the way into the 80s. Which is that's pretty far. Majority of the background checks out there, like if you get like an official one, they might go 7 years back, 10 years back. Doing like a court record search like that, it goes pretty far back. So let's just pick one of these. All right. So as you can see, we have the date of when it happened. The case is closed. We have the defendant information right here, the defendant information. So case information, defendant information. You have your charges here. So you got one charge, two charge. So there's two different charges here. Looks like the verdict date was in 94. And then for this one, the verdict date was in 95. And then you have your sentencing information right here. So sentence time right here. You got 4 years. And then for this one, you have 3 years right here. 3 years, 10 months, 1 day. So quite detailed court record here. Related person information here. And then you have kind of like a little timeline of how it all went down. So as you can see, I did not have to enter a credit card. I did not even have to register for an account. I just came here and I just knew the right database, and I knew exactly how to search this database, and I was able to locate criminal records, and pretty detailed ones, absolutely free. So one more thing to consider is also after the court date, the individual will have to either pay a fine, or unless they're not guilty. But if they are guilty, they'll pay a fine, or maybe they'll serve some time. Under 12 months, they're going to stay at the jail system. So that's where you find that information. If it's over 12 months, typically it's going to be in the prison. And that's, again, I'm on the inmate search page. And that's going to be, those facilities are managed by the Department of Public Safety and Correction Services in Maryland. So they have their own database, which you can use. And again, it's also free. And as you can see, there's some slightly, not too much identifying information, but at least you get a date of birth, so you know that the person is in there. And just some basic details, not much. Another free database you can look into, I'm going to hit the background page here, is the Sex Offender Registry. This is also a statewide database. It's also free to use, and you can search by address. Let's say you wanted to look around a particular house or maybe zip code. Or if you have a name, you can also just search by name. So we looked at, excuse me, we looked at arrest information. We looked at criminal court information, prison inmates, and the Sex Offender Registry. All of those databases we were able to look at for free. And then on the home page, I showed you how you can utilize it to look up maybe somebody's court lawsuits, look up licenses, look up businesses. There's quite a few databases that you can access to do everyday types of background checks in the state of Maryland. So one more thing to consider is the name search on top, and this name search is not a free database, but it's a great one, and you might consider using it. It pulls records from public information, court records, property records, criminal information, financial records. They have some private databases like cell phone records, previous addresses, things like that. And it doesn't just pull records from the state of Maryland, it goes outside the state also. So multiple states, multiple databases, single search system. So it's pretty much instantaneous. You'll quickly learn if they actually have the information that you're looking for in there. Some people just have a clean record, some don't. So you don't necessarily need to proceed. You can just try it out and see what pops up. And why it's also great that it kind of gives you like that nationwide look into somebody's past, like previous addresses and things like that, because somebody might have say like a record in Missouri or in Colorado. And if you're just checking at the county level or the state level in Maryland, you're not necessarily going to see what happened in Colorado or Missouri. So unless you actually go check those state records in those particular states. But you don't always know where people have lived, where they traveled through. So it's a great resource to add to your arsenal when it comes to background checking. So once again, it's marylandpublicrecords.org. Come on down and get started on your free background check in Maryland. Thank you.